The high school sports beat is brought to you by Alfred State College, where within 6 months of graduating, The high school sports beat is brought to you by Alfred State College, where within 6 months of graduating, an astonishing 99% are working or furthering their studies. At Alfred State, they stress project-based learning, where students work on real-world problems and learn how to think, not what to think. Visit alfredstate.edu.
Sports. It's who we are. It's what we do. It's how we roll. It's wins and losses, highs and lows. It's effort, respect, and dedication. The high school sports beat. Sports. It's who we are.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. We begin our look at Section 5 sports this week with our opening story, brought to you by Sticky Lips Barbecue and Juke Joint. Sticky Lips Barbecue Juke Joint, New York State's largest barbecue restaurant right here in Rochester. See our menu and live music calendar at StickyLipsBBQ.com. Sticky Lips BBQ, Jefferson Road in Henrietta. The Caledonia-Mumford boys basketball program has been riding a wave of success lately, and it all starts on Saturday morning with Biddy Basketball, where the next generation of Raiders learn from the current class. Here's Paul Gotham.
Head up! Left knee! Back knee! Looking good!
Biddy Basketball, a Caledonia-Mumford tradition for more than 2 decades.
Go back! Shot!
For 7 Saturdays, young hoopers come together to learn the fundamentals of the game. Nearly 80 elementary students in kindergarten through 3rd grade participate.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of sports in the winter for the kids to choose from, so we really come down here quite a bit. I bring down a couple of players, boys and girls, varsity players. Try to recruit some of these kids just to try something new. If they like gym class, come out and our high school players, both the boys and girls team, do a great job of trying to make it fun for them. So continuity is big. I mean, like I said, this is my 19th year. Everybody knows what to expect. So having these kids come up through the system and go to games. So we will see in our stands, we'll see a lot of kids from Biddy that'll be there. And, they have favorite players and all that. Joe Larson was interviewed a few weeks ago, and he talked about his favorite player when he was young was Steve Gaffney, who got hired at our school and is now an assistant with me and a coach in our modified program. So, you do see the impact these older kids do have on these younger kids. And, you see it with like Grace Walker. She's very active in the Biddy. And, she comes down with me a lot of times to try to recruit some of these kids. And we walk into the room and these girls are yelling, Grace, Grace. So, it's a lot of positive influence on these kids. And, hopefully they enjoy sports and, it can be a good outlet for them.
I can tell you honestly that I was a part of this program, and it has brought success to Caledonia-Mumford basketball. As you see, the boys are winning sectional titles. The girls are not having as good of a season, but they have in the past, so it's very important to start at the roots.
It's taught me at a young age that you got to actually work and come in and prepare to do stuff every day, and you make your friends throughout Biddy, and you're going to play with them the rest of your life pretty much, so it's great.
Well, it's great just putting on the maroon and white and just playing basketball, looking up to Coach Dickens and all the other players, wanting to play like them.
It's pretty cool because every single one of these kids came through this, and to watch them as first, second, third graders where they can, dribble the ball a little bit, but, they're just mostly traveling and throwing up shots. But then to see them each year grow and to see where they are now at the varsity level, I just think it's awesome to see our kids succeed.
Coach Dickens saw me through Biddy Basketball, saw that I had some kind of talent and thought that it would help.
I can remember being so excited to come and see all of the varsity girls and go to their games. And I remember in a scrapbook my mom has, there's a picture of me scoring a basket in our little halftime game. So there's that.
Junior varsity coach Josh Selton has gone from Biddy Basketball participant to player coach in the program and now in his current role overseeing the activities on Saturday mornings.
This is where, you know, as a Cal-Mum student, this is where you first start to fall in love with basketball. You know, you're excited to see the guys that you just saw play the night before. Now they're with you with that one-on-one, you know, helping you learn the game of basketball. I mean, for me, that's what it was. You know, the guy that I just saw making all those threes the night before, you know, he knows my name and he's got a nickname for me. Like, it's just something that, you know, being at that age, it's something that you're always going to remember. And like I said, you know, it's where you first start to fall in love with basketball. So it's something that, you know, we're really proud to have in this community, in the program as a coaching staff, you know, to get all of our kids involved. So we're really excited with what we have here.
Former assistant coach Tim McCardle runs both sessions each Saturday.
It's incredible. It's an honor, first of all, to be able to keep the tradition going that we have. You know, this is an integral part of the basketball program here at our, you know, at Cal-Mum. It's one of the reasons why this, you know, it's one of the part of the reasons why they're successful.
You're going to take 3 players. We're going to go 3-on-3 games. So
Being able to watch high school players on Friday nights and then be coached by those same players the next day. What's your favorite thing about Biddy Basketball?
That I learn new things.
Who's your favorite varsity player right now?
Joey Larson.
Joey Larson? Why is Joey Larson your favorite player?
He's just a nice kid to me, and I just like it when he dunks.
What is your favorite part about Biddy Basketball? What's your favorite part about being here on Saturday mornings?
Games.
Who's your favorite player on the basketball team?
Eva.
Your sister?
They always have a smile on their face. They come in with a bunch of energy, even though all the varsity players are tired in the morning at 8 o'clock. They come in and they're ready to go. It just gives you the energy to get through the day.
Every year I have my 4 little girls that they always come to me, and I like being their little mentor and teaching them all the things that I was taught when I was their age.
You know, give them that same enjoyment that you had. It's just, you know, I almost just can't even put it into words. It's so cool to, you know, go full circle with it.
We want to get the basketball into these kids as soon as we possibly can. So we start in kindergarten, and the program goes to third grade. By the time our kids are in 3rd grade, they're ready to play travel basketball. They're ready to, you know, use both hands. Basketball is a sport that you got to start early, you know, or else you're not going to feel that love as you get older.
From the Caledonia Central School District, this is Paul Gotham for the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College.
1, 2, 3. Good job. 2-minute water break. Good job.
Coming up next, Matt Trabold joins us for the Dunkin High School Notebook. We'll have that and more when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, returns.
When Girl Scout ingenuity meets Dunkin' coffee, you get a cup of can-do. Girl Scout cookie-inspired flavors are at Dunkin'. Try Thin Mints and Coconut Caramel today. And get a medium latte or cappuccino for $2 from 2 to 6 p.m. America runs on Dunkin'.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I am Dave Yates. It is time now for the High School Notebook, brought to you by Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin'. And once again this week, are pleased to be joined by Matt Trabold. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
Well, Matt, sometimes you've got a player, sometimes you've got a game that kind of is the high mark of the season. I think now we might have a single shot that is the high mark of the season for basketball so far.
Absolutely. And I did not think a Section 5 buzzer beater, at least in this generation of the sport, would beat what I saw a couple years ago from Newark's Taylor Clements. He was under the opposite hoop, heaved it in with one hand, also made SportsCenter top 10. But that is what Webster Thomas hosting Irondequoit bestowed upon us. Just an unbelievable game throughout, but especially at the end of this one. And Danny Palmer from Webster Thomas, he puts the underdogs for sure in this game in those Titans. He puts them up by a single point, but that's when everything happened. That's when Section 5 history happens, essentially. And now Connor Schaefer, the inbounds passer, he deserves a lot of love for what happened as well. He hesitates and he slings, really hums one, sidearm style to Luke Melodona, Mr. Pistol Pete, if you want to say, for all of Section 5. And he hoists one from beyond half court and in pandemonium. It beats the horn. Also got some national recognition as well, like Taylor Clements did on SportsCenter top 10 plays, ranked number 8.
Awesome. Outstanding stuff. Surprising ending to that game. Surprising season for Rush Henrietta, a team not expected to maybe do much, but they're making some noise.
Yeah, same thing there. Very good story because last 2 years, they've really had a lot of talent, a lot of talented players, both quality and quantity, go out of that program, graduate. So the expectations, like you were saying a second ago, for this season, were not very high. When you have Chris Reed as your head coach, someone who's been in it for so long, recently had a milestone win, you're going to be at least competitive just about every season. But this year, in surprising fashion, they're even more than competitive. They're going into a recent game versus Victor, 14-0. They're the big story this year in terms of being undefeated in the top classification. And they were number 2 in that top classification, those AA standings. And they really turned some heads in that game against the Blue Devils. They're down 14 going into the fourth quarter, but had a good comeback, only lost by 3 points. And when you look at the seniors on this team, they're really leading the charge. This is what you need if you're going to be turning some heads. Niles Goodwin, senior, 6'4". He went from being a bench big to really streamlining his body going into that final campaign for his boys basketball, to now he's a reliable weapon from the post. And in that backcourt as well, Javonte Williams, who was a former underclassman starter, so he has more experience than most. He is a guy that can score really every which way. So you have a really good senior duo and plenty around him too.
Real quick, let's talk about another team that's making some noise as we head into the sectionals. That would be Pittsford-Mendon.
Yeah, Pittsford-Mendon is another team that graduated a lot recently. But last year, no Section 5 boys basketball team had more wins, got farther in state play than those Mendon Vikings. And then Dan Cook, the big star from last year, on a very good team, quantity-wise. So he goes off to play at Hobart as part of 3 starters that graduated from that team. But those personnel losses have really turned the current team into an underrated force that cannot be overlooked. Jacob Shatters has really picked up his game this year because he's always been, even last year, as an underclassman, was the number 2 option behind Cook. Always been a guy to provide plenty of perimeter scoring, but as a 6'1" point guard, this year he's really impressed rebounding the basketball. And then you throw in a freshman stud, a pivotal addition to this team, Jackson Green, the younger brother of a 1,000-point scorer for the girls program at Mendon and Lexi Green.
Awesome. Great stuff. As always, Matt, thanks. Anytime you can work out the word bestow in this segment, we always appreciate that. We're back with more of the High School Sports Beat brought to you by Alfred State College right after this. Coming up next, the Making the Grade nominee with Kyle O'Gara, and later, Victor Hockey is leaving the competition cold. We'll have their story when the High School Sports Beat brought to you by Alfred State College returns.
Welcome back, and thank you for watching the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. Hit the ground running at alfredstate.edu. I'm Kyle O'Gara.
Making the grade this week is Our Lady of Mercy senior Emily Tabone. Emily plays both soccer and basketball for Mercy. She's been on both teams since she was a freshman, and since then has racked up some prestige. This past season in soccer, Emily made the first team private parochial and second team all Greater Rochester. Last season in basketball, she was a team captain and is closing in on 1,000 career points. Emily is an outstanding student with a 4.0 GPA and is a member of the National Honor Society. On top of her performance on and off the field, Emily volunteers as a coach for the Mercy Modified Basketball team. This week, Emily Tabone is making the grade.
If you have a student in mind for our Making the Grade segment, we want your nominations. Send them into mtg@rocksportsnow.com. And now here's Dave with the McArdles Section 5 Spotlight.
Thanks, Kyle. Here are some of the athletes, teams, and coaches making news in this week's Section 5 Spotlight, brought to you by McArdles and Fairport. Come home to McArdles. Well, congrats to Pittsford Sutherland's Rylan Hodgson for winning the Section 5 Nordic Skate Distance 10K. Ryan was followed by 4 skiers from HFL, including Ian McGuire, who came in second. Spenceport Wrestling moves up to second in the state in Class A2 after winning the Section 5 title. An amazing 7 Rangers came away with championship crowns. And finally, Bishop Kearney grad Quentin Rose scored 25 points in an overtime win over SMU. And in doing so, Rose became the American Athletic Conference all-time leading scorer with 1,718 points. Well, up next, the Victor Blue Devils are ruling the rink. We'll have their story when the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College, continues.
Came now to Eichel. He floated one. Score!
Welcome back, and thanks once again for joining us on the High School Sports Beat, brought to you by Alfred State College. I'm Dave Yates. Victor Hockey is 17-1 on the season and have outscored their opponents 89-24. But the Blue Devils are keeping it all on an even keel and trusting in the process that got them there.
Oh boy!
The Victor Blue Devils have a tradition of success on the ice, and this year's squad has no intention of seeing that change. In fact, they are putting out numbers that are absolutely eye-popping. They've not only beaten every Section 5 team they've played, they've been more or less dominating them, outscoring them by more than 60 goals. That kind of performance at both ends of the rink generally starts in your own zone.
It's very important. We preach D first, offense will come with getting the puck out of the zone, glassing out, usual, dumping it in. And just trying not to worry about the stats right now. Just take one game at a time, don't just worry about we gotta limit them to one goal or two. Just don't worry about that. That'll come over time, and just keep working.
Myself and my D partners especially, we all, we're communicating constantly, making sure we know where their best players are, clearing the puck out. It's all, that's just what it comes down to basically.
It also helps when the scoring can come from so many different players. When you've got 7 skaters averaging more than a point a game, well, let's just say that makes for one HE double hockey sticks of a problem when you play the Devils.
Yeah, we have tons of depth. Helps us out in every game. We don't have to rely on a couple guys, and just unbelievable depth that we have, and we can roll 3 lines, and everybody can score goals, play defense, do everything very well.
It's almost like in the league that way too, that there's a lot of guys that are pretty consistent, but especially our team, it's hard to kind of try and focus on one or two line. We have a lot of depth and a lot of balance that way, and that's how our kids want it too. We don't have guys that want to jump out and have 30, 40 points. They're okay kind of putting on the next guy and helping their teammates out.
Ferrari recently picked up his 200th win at the helm of the Blue Devils. He's had a great run with Victor, including a state title, and he knew that going into this year, he had a squad capable of doing some great things.
We knew we had a lot of talent. We knew we had the good type of kid, that was going to buy into the culture that we preach on a daily basis. So I'm not overly shocked because of the type of kid we have and how hard they work, and they're not shocked. This is what they set to do on a daily basis, and it's hard to believe we're nearing the end of the season and our record it's very good, and everybody's out to knock us off for sure.
We go in every game with the same mindset, no matter who we're playing, just each game, same mindset. We look in the microscope, not the telescope. Don't look into the future. We're not looking, playoffs right now. No, we're looking at the next game.
One of the reasons he can count on his team is the players know what is expected of them and from each other. It's part of what playing hockey for Victor is all about.
The most important thing that Coach Ferrari always preaches is culture, and just coming every day with the same mindset that we're going to get better every day, and just buying into the process, and trust it'll win games if we buy in.
It all comes down to we all get along so well, and we're all best friends, and on the ice it just translates out there, and everyone knows where each other's going to be at all times, and helps us win games.
The culture of Victor Hockey, what does that mean to you?
It means everything to us. We build a good culture, and then it'll show out on the ice for us. And
that's one of the things that our staff has preached for many, many years, and the kids that have graduated, years past have really established a great culture. And kids are positive. Kids put the needs of the team before themselves, and kids are excited about each other's success, and it shows. I'll be the first one to tell you that talent, only takes you so far, and when you get guys that care more about other guys' success than their own, you're going to be able to really climb some hefty mountains. So,
with that success comes a bit of a burden. Every time you take the ice, you are going to get nothing less than the best from your opponent.
It's definitely more challenging. Our league and our section is I think is the strongest in New York State. So, everybody, when they play us, everybody wants to knock Victor off, and I just don't think it's our sport. I think it's across the board in all our sports, and guys have to play to their best every single day, and it's tough to do on a daily basis, and but guys know they have those little bit of letdowns. Other teams they're ready to pounce and knock you off your perch for sure.
like to thank our sponsors, especially Alfred State College, for making the Sports Beat possible. We'd also like to thank the athletes, teams, and coaches in Section 5. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.